Hi there, it's Kimberly with Beauty by Stone, and I want to show you how I get ready very quickly. It's early in the morning and I've got a big day ahead, in and out, all the things. I don't per se want to put on a ton of makeup, but I also know in and off virtual work calls, running around doing errands, I want to look a little bit more than blank-faced. I want to have a little bit more of a fresh, lively look to myself. So this is what I very quickly do. I know it's going to get me through the day, and then I can always add on to it later if I'm going out tonight. So always look at yourself in the mirror, and where do you want to start your makeup for that quick 5-minute look? Start where you need it, or you think you need it the most first. And for me, that's around my eyes. Also look at the feature that you love the most about yourself and think, how can I accentuate that the most? So for me, I want to accentuate my eyes. So I am going to apply some concealer, and this is a beautiful concealer made by Chanel. It's in the Sublimage franchise, and it is literally applies like a creamy butter texture. And I love to apply this on days then where I know I'm probably not going to wear any foundation, or maybe just a little foundation. So I always apply this foundation. I do go one shade lighter than the rest of my face. So I apply this under my eyes. I apply it always a little bit on my brow bones, and then I blend it down to the top of my cheekbones. Now, if you saw, I only had a very small dab on the brush that it comes with. And that little small dab did all the center of my face, under my eyes, and right away, I look bright. So I've got the SPF, I feel a little bit more awake, but I also want to add color. So the next thing I'm going to add is bronzer. And this is a cream bronzer that has more of a velvet finish. So it gives a natural velvet finish to the skin. It doesn't have sparkle, it doesn't have shimmer in it. So it truly looks like a sun-kissed skin. And I am using a very soft, fluffy brush, because that way I know I'm not going to get streaks. I'm not looking to chisel or define any features. I want to give more of a wash of color all over. And I do bring the bronzer up over the concealer that's on the top of the cheekbone. Do brush it, again, anywhere where the sun would naturally hit my face, and making sure that I go through the brows very soft and quickly. And then I always dust a little bit or blend a little bit, whatever formula you're going to work with. If you prefer powder, just use a soft, big, fluffy brush. And again, this is on my bare skin. I don't have foundation or concealers on throughout my face, just under my eye. And I know that now my skin is prepped. I do apply a little bit under my jaw just to make sure that the transition of color is similar. So you can see my skin is still a little lighter and my tan is a little bit more olive. So I may actually look to see if I can find a bronzer that's a little bit more olive tone. This may be a little still too bright now that I've picked up skin tone in my face. I'm going to use a cream to powder blush. And this, I always love to apply blush. If you don't follow me more on Instagram, and this is just popping up in your feed, that's awesome. If you look up #blushfairy, you're gonna see a few funny moments. I love a blush, and I love a blush on anybody. My big tip with blush is, yes, more is more. And I do apply more blush at the start of my day because blush does fade out. So applying blush beginning of your day, don't be afraid to go a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, because that blush will fade out. You may need to also touch up your concealer and your lip, perhaps powder if you're shiny. But other than that, you should be good to go for the day. So I love to start a little bit more on the blush just because it really helps contrast, bring out my blue eyes, and makes me feel awake. I'm gonna throw on a very quick lip gloss. I call this a no mirror lip gloss shade. So one that I can just put on quickly between phone calls. I don't need to look in a mirror. Very easy to go. Now for me, again, my eyes I love. So I am going to define my eyes by applying mascara. You can also tightline or apply eyeshadow if you want to. So because I applied the concealer a little bit, very sheer amount through my brow bone, my lid has a touch of the concealer on it. No eye cream, obviously, during the day on your lid. I am going to take a small amount of shadow, and I'm going to just take a brush. You can use your finger. I almost went for my finger. And I'm going to just sweep a small amount of color onto my eyelid. And sweeping back and forth to help create contrast and depth around my eyes. Biggest tip I can say for blending, especially when you're in a hurry, is take a moment just with that same brush you used to apply your shadow and go back and forth in your crease and blend the color back and forth, making sure that that then is blended. So that's the biggest tip I could give, is less is more with shadows, and take that time to blend the shadow so that you get that seamless transition of color from your crease into your brow bone, and that you're not, sitting with that hunk of shadow on your eyelid. So I did curl my lashes. I'm now going to use some black mascara. If you're not a huge fan of black, you feel like it's too intense, you can use a dark brown. I am a lash girl, just like a blush girl, so I can never have too much lash, and I always use black. There are different types of mascara. Obviously, you want to volumize, you want to lengthen, you want to define. So this mascara definitely lengthens and does some definition. It doesn't give me oops of heavy volume, but I don't want that because the rest of my face is a fresh, natural look. So I am now ready out the door. I'm going to probably put just a clear brow gel on my brows just to set, give them a little bit of natural definition, and I gotta go. All right, huge hugs, have an awesome day, and comment below, good, bad, indifferent, any questions also or suggestions for future vids. Lots of love, bye.